There are three ways to rent out your rental property: long-term, mid-term, or short-term. They're all different. They all have benefits. They all have drawbacks. I'm going to break down what those differences, drawbacks, and benefits are right now, right here on this video, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Jay Leman. I break down real estate on this channel, specifically Central Illinois real estate, where we cash flow from day one on so many of our purchases. But let me get down to the nitty-gritty of this video, which is the difference between short, mid, and long-term rentals. Now, I'm going to start with the long-term rentals because that's what most people are familiar with. And this is a rental that is usually 6 months to a year or more, usually a year long. And what's great about a long-term rental is that it's guaranteed income for that period of time, which can be extended to over to a year or maybe even more. That's going to come in monthly. So if your rent's $1,000 a month, it's going to come in, in 12 different increments over the year at the beginning of the month, and it's going to be $12,000. And all the utilities are paid usually by the tenant. And so your maintenance calls will usually be a 24-hour notice, where if there's a maintenance call, you come and fix that within 24 hours. That is acceptable. Now, it's a little bit different when you get into the short-term and the mid-term space. In the short-term and mid-term space, aka Airbnb, VRBO, Furnished Finder, whatever you're trying to market these on, and this is kind of a new section of rental properties in the last decade to 12 years or so. This has really risen to prominence. In a midterm rental, you're going to have someone renting that out for, 3 weeks to 4 or 5 months. And what's great about a midterm rental is you make more income than a long-term rental per day. The bad thing is that you have to pay the utilities. They go in the owner's name, and so you have to charge more rent to make up for that. And your maintenance has to be a little bit quicker than just your typical long-term tenant that's going to be a 24-hour notice, unless, of course, there is fire, flood, or blood. And in that case, you better get over there right away because somebody could be in danger. And so when it comes to a midterm rental, the expenses are a little bit higher because you're paying utilities, your maintenance cost has to be urgent. Your maintenance guy has to be on it right away to get over there. And also, you're going to have to pay for increased turnover. When someone goes out of the unit, you're going to have to clean that unit every time and pay a cleaning crew or do it yourself to go in there. Now, a short-term rental will have the highest margin of rents. Now, the utilities are still in your name. Maintenance has to be spot on because these are people on vacation usually, or coming for a special event for a 2, 3, 4 day stay. You're going to get the most amount per day, but your maintenance cost could be not necessarily higher, but has to be more urgent. For instance, if my washer and dryer is not working on a Tuesday morning, I'm a long-term tenant. Hey, if that's fixed by Wednesday afternoon, I'm probably happy. But if my washer and dryer is not working and I'm only staying for 2 days, well, I'm probably going to be pretty upset if it's not fixed today if I can't wash my clothes. You have to have an urgency. And you also are going to have to deal with cleaning fees every time you get a new tenant, because you're going to have to wash dishes, sanitize the whole room, vacuum and make all the beds, change the bedding, change the sheets. And that's going to cost quite a bit as you turn these over every time. And I know a lot of that gets charged to the tenant when you're doing an Airbnb or a VRBO, but it's still something that you're going to have to budget for, because that cleaning fee can add up over time and cut into your cash flow. So just to reiterate, long-term, most guaranteed income, slowest response time, utilities in the tenant name. In midterm and short-term, utilities in the in your name as the owner. You have to have maintenance staff that is pronto and on the double. And also, you're going to have the cleaning cost of always going in there and cleaning after every tenant. Some people really like the sweet spot of like a traveling nurse, or maybe someone's there for 3 or 4 months. That's the midterm rental where you get higher rent, but you also have less turnover and cleaning than you would for a short term, but you get a higher rent than the long term. I like a lot of long terms. I'm just now starting to dabble into the short term to see what it's like, but I do believe there's a place for all of these. Just depends on who you're trying to market to and what kind of lifestyle you want to lead when it comes to real estate. Short-term and mid-term, it's a little bit more management intensive unless you get a management team for you. Long-term can be less management intensive as long as you find a great property manager. So again, always comes down to management. If this brought you value, would you like, subscribe? Would you ring the bell for notifications? Let's go buy some real estate. Bam!